So we're starting with Christopher Nolan,
And he's here
Oh, I
calming
thought we were
calming down some velociraptors.
right? Do you think we're going to move past the idea of streaming, or it's just not going to be as popular as it is right now?
No,
I think we're
streaming.
actually gonna continue with this, what we're doing, streaming and Blu-ray stuff
Yeah.
for a long time.
One person's giving like very professional, limited energy, and one person's giving it all he's got.
Wait, who's who? I'm sorry, I don't know which one you're talking about.
If they're in a different room, that's hilarious because it's like, all right, just say these lines and then look, because Jackie Chan will be talking at this point. And so he has one energy, and then they told Jackie Chan, like, this is like a YouTube video, dude. I feel like you watched Jackie Chan's Karate Kid before the original. Are you one of those?
No, and Jaden Smith acted better than Ralph Macchio.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast, everybody. All you guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs. This is a new episode from down in
Under.
the Atlantic. I don't know.
What?
It's cold here. It's the North Pole, and it's cold.
I mean, it's Georgia, so it's not as cold as it could be, but we are pretty cold.
Now, we covered this in the pre-show,
we
but
do-
you guys are missing heat in your
Yeah, we're
house.
missing heat at the moment, and we won't linger on that. But we're a little bit chilly. I've got
don't know,
shoes on
depends.
because the floor is cold.
Joshua's fully wrapped.
Josh is wrapped like a burrito.
I mean,
Josh,
I do like my burritos. You know,
Mhm.
as a white guy here, I do
He's
enjoy
a
a
white
good.
guy. He enjoys a white burrito, one with
That
sour
flour
cream
tortilla.
in it. One with
Yeah,
sour,
yeah, yeah.
one in a flour tortilla and sour cream.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I like to do the fun thing and add a little bit of white rice.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh man, you throw some white rice in
Not
there,
even the
man.
brown rice.
No,
And some mild verde salsa. So we I don't know exactly when this is coming out, but we're recording this pretty soon after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Did you guys get any Black Friday shopping done?
I got
I
nothing.
picked up
for
groceries.
Black
Why?
Yeah, I got
when you don't
nothing.
have money for anything else, why go shopping on Black Friday?
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's such an overhyped day to shop.
it kind of is. However, I did learn that there are some really good deals on jewelry at Belk during Black
Belk?
Friday. Yeah, learn that the jewelry at Belk is what you need. That's when you need to go buy.
Are you
Belk
trying to get yourself a
jewelry.
chain for this
No.
season?
Trying to get blinged
I
up?
just show up one day with a chain.
Yeah.
No, and I don't typically buy jewelry from Belk, but their prices were pretty good on Black Friday.
We do have a Belk close to where we are. You
Mhm.
think going over to Belk, we could, you think they're still going on with deals and everything?
They might still have some deals. I'm not too sure, but they might still have some deals.
Well, if they have stuff they're trying to get rid of, they'll keep the
Right.
deal up.
Right. And we did find one of those big Toblerone bars,
Dude,
Ooh,
the
like-
big ones?
the big ones, that are like
Wow.
that big around. You guys have seen the Toblerones,
Yeah,
right?
impossible to eat.
yeah.
Toblerones are awesome.
They're impossible to
Don't
eat.
they
They're
sell the
triangle
the
Mhm.
Tobe?
and they're huge.
Don't they sell the Tobe at like the candy store over?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a big Toblerone. Toblerones are normally pretty hard to eat, but when you get those big ones, one of those triangles is like a normal candy bar.
So then you could just take bites off of that thing.
Yeah,
Instead of
just
trying
take
to fit a whole
yourself one
triangle.
triangle.
in there.
Yeah, one triangle, and then just take bites off of it. Big Toblerone's where it's at.
But the regular Toblerone, you're like trying to say, I think this is supposed to be a one bite off triangle. And
Yeah,
you take
I don't know
you
if
take
I've
a
ever
whole triangle and you're like,
Tobleroned.
you've never Tobleroned. Once you've Tobleroned, once
once
you've
you've Toblerone,
tobled around, become a Tobleroner. You never go back. My dad actually said that when his sister was in college, her singing group went to Europe and toured Europe for singing stuff. And
Yeah?
she came back with a bunch of Toblerone. And it wasn't in America at that time. It was exclusively a European chocolate. And they said it was the best chocolate they had
Dude.
ever had.
the Yerps, they
Give me
always
that
try to
good.
create good stuff and then
The
just hold
Yerps,
on
the
to
Yerps
it.
got the best chocolate. I'm gonna be honest. The Yerps got the best chocolate. Europeans,
Yeah.
Those Europes like to tobe.
the Yerps in their tubes. Oh my gosh.
Dude, they don't want to share it. Pennsylvania came out with a Hershey's chocolate, and they're
Yeah.
like, "This is our town. This is our states. Don't mess with us." And
Yeah.
then the
Now,
Europes
I
were like, "No, we'll keep our
I
toes
have heard
line."
there's quite a few good chocolate things in like Canada and in the Europeans.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh-huh.
they're still hoarding it.
Yeah,
They're still
they
hoarding
are.
it.
Yeah.
You have to go over there to grab it. Like their croissants. I know we have good croissants here, but
Ooh.
apparently, like croissants over there are immaculate. And I'm like,
Mhm.
why you hoard
Wait,
the croissant?
have you
recipe?
guys heard of this thing, the water thing, and like New York water?
No.
What?
So people say the reason why New York City has the best pizza is it has something to do with the water that's in New York City. And so I've seen videos of people cooking pizza like in Texas, and they're like, I have this jug of New York water that I put in when I make the dough because I've
What,
gotten
just
from when I went there because
just
it's
toxic
the secret
water?
ingredient.
So New York
I don't know.
New York City tap, I guess, adds
I
a
don't
little
understand
bit
it,
of New York to your pizza.
It's like
Yeah.
just a little bit extra death on top.
Mm. A little bit of
Injected
that
into the dough.
a little bit of that smog, a little bit of
Once
that New York attitude.
Once you fill up your bowl of the New York tap, you got to strain the rat hairs out of it.
Right, a little bit of I'm
Oh.
walking here.
A little bit of I'm walking here.
Yeah. A little bit of take it east.
I'm walking here.
Freaking, I don't know what
man.
to.
Well, have you never
that's
heard that?
Fake.
I've
I think
never heard
I have
that.
heard it a little bit, but on a podcast.
You know
but
what?
it's fake.
I'm not gonna discredit it because water does taste differently in different places.
Yeah, but that means that okay. But then that proves
my parents' well water is really good.
Yeah,
It's
well
really
water
good
is
water.
Always good.
But listen, that just proves that New York pizza is not the best. There's just the New York City nostalgia built into the pizza.
I don't
And-
think so. I think their tap water probably tastes a certain way. It probably has a certain amount of minerals and lots and lots and lots of heavy metals,
A lot of
a little
homeless
bit of
urine.
blood and sweat, homeless urine, and rat feces, and it mixes together.
And then a little bit
makes
of fentanyl.
some fentanyl, some cocaine, and it all mixes together and makes a specific flavor that when you mix it into your pizza dough, it adds a little bit of essence of New York.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean it's a better pizza. It just means it has the flavors of New York and you're nostalgic for the city. That doesn't make it a good pizza.
Maybe it's the best pizza.
Look, I'm telling you this much. A lot of people I've told this to disagree, and I know the majority of Americans that like have this fantasy about New York like Wyatt does.
I don't.
I've never been, so I don't know.
I've had on 2 occasions New York pizza. Underwhelming, extremely, and we're talking about the big slices that you have to fold. Yes, I did. I went to a place in Queens, so like the everyday man's pizza, and I went to a popular pizza place in Times Square in Manhattan. I had both pizzas, and I had Long Island pizza as well, which is right next door to the city. So I'm telling you,
how much were these? Was a slice from
how
like
big?
the place in, no, how much from
slice?
Queens?
How much difference?
How much money?
Why
how
can't
much
he
money?
understand?
We're talking like so like in Queens it was like $3.50 for a slice.
$3.50 for a big slice.
And then in Manhattan it was like flirting with $5. It was $4.
Okay, see, I think $3.50 for a big slice of cheese pizza in Queens. That's exactly what you're looking for.
I know, and I'm saying it's underwhelming.
It's a normal piece of pizza.
But dude, it's not much better than any place you can go, like a mom and pop pizza store anywhere else in the nation. I'm telling you, it is underwhelming. And if you want to have good pizza, You got to go Chicago style deep dish. Heck yeah,
Okay.
dude.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
No.
I've been to Chicago and I had their deep dish, and we got deep
Mm.
dish down in Virginia Beach that was Chicago style from people from Chicago. They were
I know.
both
I don't
great.
mind. I don't mind a Chicago style.
Oh,
It's
so
good.
good.
I ain't Chicago
So
in
good.
it.
I love Chicago deep dish. I think it's the most immaculate way to make a pizza in the US.
No.
And it's so good. And New York is overrated. It's
No.
beyond overrated.
Okay.
No.
Hey, that's
New
an
York-
opinion.
The thinner slice is way better than that
Look.
thick daddy,
Here we go.
girth boy.
New York pizza is on par with the CC's buffet. I said it.
Dang. Oh wow.
I said it.
Hey, look.
That's
I think
generalizing the whole city.
I take middle ground here. I like a thin slice.
Thin slice is fine.
I like a deep dish as well.
A deep dish is beautiful.
But there's this perfect middle ground. There is a perfect.
Did you lose something? He lost it. He dropped his VHS of
No.
Raiders of the Lost
Hold
Ark.
on. The perfect size pizza, and perhaps the perfect pizza, is the Sam's Club pepperoni pizza.
Oh my god.
I'm not lying.
That's just because you're white trash and that's what you grew up on, bro.
You shut your mouth.
Okay.
It is a big,
Yeah.
perfectly sized, bread wise, perfectly cooked pizza with a good sauce for an affordable price, and it's incredible. I
don't disagree with you. I'm just saying.
I've had trouble finding pizza that tastes like the Sam's Club slice.
I will agree that you're shopping around for about an hour, buying the bulk products you need,
Mm-hmm.
and then
you throw something fun in the buggy. That's not just
for
like a big bag of rice
or $1.50. You get a slice of pizza, and you're like, this is not that expensive, and it hits hard after buying some bulk products, and so you're like, this is good. I will admit, for what it is and where it's placed, it's great. But you can't compare a Sam's Club with a New York slice. They're not
Joshua, you
better
haven't
than
had New York
Domino's.
slice.
It's better than Domino's. It's better
I'm
than
not going to
Pizza
disagree
Hut.
with you there. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Okay, I will see if my parents have their Sam's Club card.
Yeah, we got it.
I'll get the
We could
card.
probably just get in. We probably could just walk in.
No, you got to have a card.
Dude, they
And
keep
then-
it
You're
locked up like Fort
but we
Knox.
could get in.
You have when you buy things, you have to scan the card.
It's in the name, club.
But not for the pizza area. I'm almost positive
so.
you just can buy it from the pizza area.
So you will get the card, and then we'll go and we'll get a pizza. Sorry, excuse me. And we'll try it out. Their meat pizza, their meat lovers pizza is
It's to die for.
Well, I think we should move from this pizza topic, but before we do, I want to say one more thing. Just like
all right,
most
so he can
things
have the last
in life,
word. So he can have the last word. The man who never had a New York slice.
just like most things, too big is just a little too much. So the thick daddy Chicago might be a little too thick for me. But also you don't want too small either. You don't want that micro. You need something.
So the thin slices maybe not enough.
So you're not New York or
thin
Chicago.
crust might be not enough. I enjoy.
That's why I put
crust.
That's why I put Sam's Club on the
Sam's
table.
Club. It might be the pinnacle of pizza.
It might be the pinnacle. What
Right
if
in the
Sam's
middle.
Club is the best
You
pizza ever made?
That's
and nobody knew?
usually where you need to have to just to get everybody satisfied. Right in the middle is probably where it's at.
It's the sauce for me. Sam's Club actually had a specific kind of sauce that was a little bit sweet that I really liked, and that's probably what made it the best for me, because a lot of pizza places don't have a sweet kind of sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's move into the first topic.
Let's do it. So we're starting with Christopher Nolan.
And he's here calming down some velociraptors.
Right. Sorry, audio listeners.
So Chris Nolan said some things about streaming that I thought were interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes, in this
He
article.
said some wild things, didn't he?
I don't know that they were wild.
Which just to give you listeners I don't know if exact what he goes into yet in this article, but I was doing some research beforehand on this same topic, and so I do think I have some extra to add to this because
Okay, cool.
he said one thing initially, and then he had another interview where he clarified himself and elaborated more on the topic. So let's see what he had to say first, and then see if it's the same thing I already found.
Okay.
So in this article, I don't know if you have it up on your screen. It says he expressed his worries about things only exist in the streaming universe and then get taken down. Believes that the accessibility of filmmakers' work is something that deserves the utmost protection, but is something at severe risk when there is a filmmaker's film just sort of disappearing from streaming one day. And then maybe
have
not
a
coming
thought
back.
on this once you're done.
He says, okay, so I'm going to read this quote, the whole thing, or at least the first paragraph, and then we can talk about it. There is a danger these days that if things only exist in streaming version, they do get taken down. They come and go, as do broadcast versions of films. So my films will play on HBO or whatever. They'll come and go, but the home video version is the thing that can always be there. So people can always access it. And since the 1980s, as filmmakers, we've taken that for granted. And since the 1980s, as filmmakers, we've taken that for granted. And now we have to make sure that there's a way that can continue to happen, if not the physical, if not the physical media.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is actually, I believe, the same quote that I have the recording from. So I have him saying this, but it's the same thing. Initially, in an interview before this, he called the streaming services like taken down by the evil streaming services. And it was a joke, and so that got a lot of buzz. And then he did this interview where he clarified himself a little bit, and because that was just a passing comment. And here's him explaining the situation. I have been thinking about this for a few days now. And at first, I'm not really sure how to land, but I know Christopher Nolan's onto something. I think go ahead.
Back in before Wyatt even jumped on the podcast, and that was a while because Wyatt's been on for a long time. I remember we recorded an episode, and I don't even remember what the episode was called. I can't recommend the episode because I don't remember. But I said, this is my reason for buying DVD copies of things rather than watching it on streaming. And now I don't do this as much these days because I don't go out and buy all the DVD copies of everything. But I bought so many DVD copies of a movie because I said, with a streaming service, people go on a Friday night, oh, this movie's on Netflix, let's watch it. They watch it once and they never watch it again because it's on a streaming service. Because it was easy access to just watch it once. If you buy a physical copy of something, even if you don't watch it all the time, you have it. You paid the money for it, and
you're very likely to watch it more than once.
If it was good, if it was something you enjoyed, then it was worth paying that money for because you want to watch it again. You want to support them to make something like it again. Yeah. But it is begged to question, like, nowadays with all the stuff that they're coming out with, they're trying to fast pace things. They're making movies, not putting as much effort into movies. Maybe they deserve to be on streaming services rather than a DVD.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing, that if somebody makes a movie and it's terrible, but it's only released on streaming services, they can kind of just let people forget about that. Where's the new Indiana Jones movie? Right?
Who knows?
I have hard copies of two of the movies here. But if there's no hard copies, that movie can just disappear,
Right.
and out of sight, out of mind, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You may be like, I saw this movie years ago, but I don't think I can find it again, and you may never be able to find it again.
Yeah, and we saw with, Final Space and movies like Batgirl that were completely filmed or already released, and then they get pulled down or just chosen not to be released because they operate more effective business-wise as a tax write-off than they do as being available for the public to consume. And that's a catastrophe for the creators. I mean, it's destroyed people like Olin Rogers to see his work for like the past 6 years just disappearing. Unless you bought the DVD or Blu-ray of Final Space, you just don't have it. It's not there. And but there's a cultural conversation and debate somewhat around the idea of streaming that Chris Nolan's bringing up. The first issue I think that arises when we're talking about hard copies is accessibility to a player is being phased out. First of all. So your access to watch a DVD or a Blu-ray, which Blu-ray is better. Let's keep it in that conversation because it has the ability, it's protected. Whereas if you get a scratch on a DVD, you've ruined your piece of art anyway. So DVDs do not have staying power, even the same way that VHSs have staying power. Blu-rays do though, because they're protected and you can fit a better image on it. So let's keep it in Blu-ray conversation. So the access to players is still available, but going down quickly, right? In the same way that DVD copies are going down very quickly because of streaming. Now, they could have a comeback in the same way that vinyl records have made a comeback, but it's going to have to be a choice in culture. So first off, even if you have a hard
VHS
copy,
already are. Have you heard about the people buying up the copies?
Yes, I have heard of that, but it's almost silly to talk about that because it's not a better viewing experience for the art. Blu-ray is in the same way that people like vinyls because they like the way they sound and there is something high quality about them, but a VHS copy is not the same as watching a Blu-ray. It's not nostalgic there. I mean, it's nostalgic, but it's not a experience. So the Blu-ray copy is an experience, but the access to players is going down. So you can own a piece of art like Oppenheimer, like what Chris Nolan's talking about here, but not have access to the thing to consume it on. And that's a real problem. And it could be because you can get a player, but at a certain point that player is going to die. And then you have to get another player. And what if they don't have those players anymore? It still eliminates your ability to watch the piece of.
Well, I'm gonna say this. In our lifetime, I don't think there's any point where there's no access to the player of what you have. You can go.
I think that is a wild thing to say.
That is a wild thing to say, but I agree with
it. It is, but you can go to any thrift store or pawn shop and pick up a VHS player that works and it plugs in and it's fine. Or a DVD player or a Blu-ray player. Or most people have an Xbox or a PlayStation that will play Blu-ray DVDs and movies. I don't think the player is an issue with this. I think the issue is the streaming thing is like it will disappear if that's the only place it's released. If it's released, if there's a DVD version, if there's a I guess basically just if there's a DVD or Blu-ray version, there you can watch it. You can watch it.
By the same logic though, once it disappears, you can buy the Blu-ray off of a website that still sells them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or off eBay or something. And so you haven't lost access to something necessarily. The other issue I think this brings up is the novelty idea of a halt in innovation in some way. I don't think that Blu-rays are the future for keeping a form of media art. Now, for the longest time, paintings, people value art. We'll hang them up in our houses. We own art. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it makes sense that we should own cinema art as well. But I don't think a DVD or Blu-ray or VHS or anything like that is the way to own it for this time. It's not future-proofing this art in the same way that like an actual physical thing you put on the wall is. And so I think that we need to come up with more innovative ideas where Chris Nolan's just like, go buy my Blu-ray. I would be more interested to see him come up with some ideas of how people can appreciate his art in this new futuristic world we're living in. And that's not streaming. That's not being controlled by anyone, that you actually own it.
No.
Some way you can get a hard copy. Yeah.
A hard copy, but we have to have a new experience. That doesn't rely on, I don't know, the internet access to watch it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm curious to see what that looks like. But in my opinion, I don't think any of the mediums we've used in hard copy to watch films up to this point are the answer for future proofing this genre of art anyway.
Yeah.
And we've come up with ideas like the Boomy, and that could be a storage system. And they already have storage systems in somewhat.
Yeah, but still, a storage system can get fried.
You're right. It absolutely can. But you can also break a Blu-ray in half.
Yeah, but we're talking a difference between an EMP and something you do with your hands.
No, not if it's like uploaded on the internet or something like that. Then
Well, we need to be removed from the internet. So
we're talking about two different forms of things where it's like, you know, a DVD, something you can hold in your hand. If there's no internet access, you can still watch the movie.
Yeah.
You
just have to have electric.
If you have something that is storing your movies with circuitry or whatever, it's going to get fried with like an EMP blast.
It could. And after thinking about this for a while,
okay,
I think we need to look back to move to the future. Okay. So hear me out. I think we need to find a way. I think we need to find a way for future proofing this art genre. I think we have to do something that is similar to film reels, but is a new technology that has the high quality experience.
See, I'm more interested in how do we watch it?
That's what I'm saying. Look, the player, right? So the film reels always use the projector. We have to have a new experience. So I think in some way, especially getting into the virtual world space, I think we need to have something that's not based around discs or microchips. I think we need to have a physical reel of some sort that can play easily. And the player is going to have to be something that's durable, that can stand the test of time, that is actually going to stick with the world. And maybe it's like, I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it, but I feel like there has to be some kind of projector technology that's in this new world that can view these things. Because the only way to really keep this art is get rid of digital and let's make it back organic. You know what I'm saying? In the same way that a painting on a wall is organic. We need to make this art form organic, and the only way it's been organic is film reels.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the next step is for camera technology. I definitely think it has something to do with something analog would have to let light in to do something. I don't know that it's, burn the film anymore. It's got to be something new that we come up with. But yeah, a new way to sort of preserve that kind of stuff that doesn't rely on electricity, technology, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was interested to see what he had to say,
With this in
Is-
mind, do you think we're going to move past the idea of streaming, or it's just not going to be as popular as it is right now
No,
in the
I
future?
think
people like
I think we're
streaming.
actually gonna continue with this what we're doing, streaming and Blu-ray stuff
Yeah.
for a long time.
You think we're going to
It's
keep Blu-ray
going
for a
to be.
long time?
I think we're in sort of a time now that we've hit like a stalemate. We've hit a lull. We're gonna be here for a minute because there's no innovation on either side.
There's
No.
lack of money. Everyone's just trying to make their Netflix film
Mm-hmm.
or their
Well,
Disney
I
Plus
guess
show, and it's all
the
trash.
yeah. I know this is a little bit not in the same boat. It is, but I guess this is the best time to announce, be looking for us in 2025. We're starting a drive-in movie theater.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit. That would be super fun.
A drive-in movie theater, you have to buy a plot of land to park your car,
But it
and you
wouldn't
have to
take
buy
as
a
much
big
as you
old
think.
sheet.
Yeah, that's what you need, but that's really all you need. You wouldn't need
Stellar
a
sound
huge-
system or the equipment to get it inside the cars.
Well, yeah, I mean, every drive-in I've ever been to, more recently, is they're like, just turn to this radio station
Yes,
Mhm.
to hear the audio.
which is fine, and that's probably relatively simple technology,
Mm-hmm.
especially since you only have to cover the radius of that field or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Do you think the drive-in movie theaters are coming back?
Oh yeah.
I think drive-in movie. I think the most important thing for a drive-in movie theater is your location. Your location is key.
And your vehicle.
Make it well worth people coming and doing it. So we were talking about this with John Mark, and John Mark is like, you don't even have to do like concessions, but what you could do is contact a couple food trucks, and just say, hey, come park your food truck right on my land. The food truck makes their money, so you don't have to pay them anything. But you also appease your
But
customers.
that doesn't make sense. That's backwards thinking, because concessions are like 70 to 80% of how theaters make their money.
Well, you get some of whatever they make.
Oh, okay.
No,
Maybe
they're not going to
you do
share
it
their
that way.
revenue with
If
you.
they're parking
they're
for
making a
free
lot of
on your
money.
land,
Yeah.
getting to sell as much food as they want to moviegoers, then yeah, I think, or you charge them a flat rate.
Yeah.
You come park here, and I make this much for that however long you're there.
Mhm.
That because you need to be making money somehow.
Yeah, you definitely need to make money somehow, which I do feel like the drive-in movie theater business model is not a very good one. So we'd have to really have revolutionary thinking if we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
real
think
revolutionary
I also
thinking.
think some sort of small concession stand is doable.
Yeah.
People like corn dogs. People like nachos.
Hey, we're not. No, we need like that nice Mexican,
No.
taco or something.
Let the taco trucks take care of that. Let them take care of that. Sometimes
But you charge like $8 for a corn dog? Heck yeah, you make bank on some corn dogs.
$4 for a corn dog.
How are we going to make money?
A corn dog's not that expensive. $4 for a corn dog.
How big of a plot of land do we need? An acre? 2 acres?
3, 2.
I don't know. I think it's fairly significant. I think an acre and a half at least.
Dude, we're
Yeah,
paying a minimum of $200,000 for an acre and a half anywhere near the city of Atlanta.
I think we can get
anywhere
it for
near
about
it.
100.
Nope. And
I think we have to
maybe?
again, it is that property. It is where you are.
yes,
And
and
I
it
think
means
one
you
of the best
you got to be
places
seen.
one of the best places would be on 16 somewhere.
The interstate?
No. We're
it's the
talking about
highway.
down here.
It's a road that it travels a pretty significant distance through Georgia, and it's a busy road.
Right. Look, I'm just saying that's a great idea, and location's important, and the busiest you have means it's good for business, which means we got to make money to pay for this plot of land we're investing in. So
Yeah.
you got to charge $8 for a corn dog.
I'm not charging $8 for a corn dog.
We're gonna have to. We gotta pay off this
no,
loan.
No, not $8 for a corn dog. We'll
How are
find
we gonna
another
pay
way.
off? What?
We'll find
We're gonna
another
sell our
way.
bodies?
Well, I'm
On
good for that.
Thursday nights we do adult films only.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're down with that?
Yeah. But no, let's move to the next thing, which I believe is thanking the oh yeah, I had that slide
Sorry,
too.
didn't go to it.
Okay.
My
No,
bad.
it's fine. You're just running this thing. It's okay.
Thank you, Karina, for being a Patreon supporter. Karina is a loyal follower of our content over on Patreon. So thank you for being there. And she gets to see, she gets to hear in detail the story of why you guys do not have heat.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah,
we
she
didn't give
does.
like too much detail. But
Enough to know, the struggle, enough to hear some stories, enough to hear some opinions.
yeah.
That we are not going to ever share on the out in public.
Mm-mm.
I mean, our public faces are $8 corn dogs. You know what I'm saying? On
Yeah.
Patreon, imagine on Patreon you get the discount of $4.
Yeah, but is that mystery meat?
We give you a better corn dog for cheaper over on Patreon.
Okay, that's better. That's a better way of saying it.
I don't
Yeah.
know what to do this. Look,
Thank you, Karina, for being a Patreon supporter. You get
that's right.
a lot of stuff, exclusive stuff, podcast early. Go check it out if you're interested. And that would also
The links in the
support us.
description. The links in the description. Go pick the tier that best fits your content needs to join. So, I guess we're getting into this next bit. How you want to kick this off, Wyatt?
What are we doing
I don't know. I didn't know if you had like a little something to talk
A
about
little
here,
tidbit?
a little cushion, like some cushion for this middle section
little
before we get into the
Okay.
next segment.
So I just finished Peaky Blinders. Okay,
Again?
Ah,
I've been watching it. This is my second
Okay.
run through. I
Oh,
watched it a
okay.
while back. All right.
Hmm.
Just finished Peaky Blinders, and as I said in the pre-show, I'm getting into Lost.
Mhm.
And Peaky Blinders just always reminds me of like, man, I do like their outfits. I do like the respect they get on the streets.
Mm.
they do get
And
some
then you do a
respect.
hard pivot and you do survival show.
Mhm.
And the only thing I can
Huh?
think of, even with this hard pivot going from one genre to the next, the only thing I am constantly thinking of watching Lost is J.J. Abrams.
Oh,
His
Okay.
mystery box, freaking cliffhanger way of filmmaking is so annoying.
It worked
It is-
really great for Lost, especially for that first season.
Oh my gosh, it's so freaking annoying. Every scene has a mystery box that we have to come back to and revisit
Mhm.
later to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Mhm.
And I would say more than half
on
the
the
time he does not deliver on this mystery
Yeah.
box thing.
no.
Does not deliver at all.
I got to the point watching the show where I was not watching it anymore.
Right? It was just playing.
Wait, what?
Well, no, I was watching it and then I was like, I wasn't keeping up with any of the episodes, and
Mhm.
I got to the point where it was like, it wasn't about the show anymore. It was about what happens to each character. When do they die?
Right.
Which I felt like happened with The Walking Dead. Who's gonna die?
Yeah,
Who's
sure.
gonna
Yeah.
who's gonna die
Who's still
aspect
on?
started to bother me. Because that's what bothered me with Lost, and so I looked up what happened to every character and
Called
what
it a
happened
day.
what happened at the end of the show, and then I didn't watch anymore.
But you
Now-
have to keep an account with a show like that, though. And this, I watched The Walking Dead and I finished it because I felt like I had to. I went too far. But there was times when like Glenn dies and I just stopped watching it.
Whoa.
Well, that's
Okay.
way early. Everybody
All
knows
right.
this point.
Yeah, everybody
It's been a
knows.
while.
Everybody's seen.
Stop. When Glenn dies, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to watch this show anymore. And so if your favorite character dies off, then you're not invested in anything else.
Mhm.
You're not invested in the story. So you're just done and you lose fans.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot. I think that they were too caught up in the in the money making aspect of the show that after season 5, when the hype was at its most around, I want to say around season 5.
Okay.
I think after that you just started seeing less and less ratings, less and less interest.
Why did that not happen for Game of Thrones?
Well, the reason it happened for The Walking Dead is because they switched the way that they told the story. They started telling one person's story per episode, right? So
but that's how they're doing Lost from season 1.
So what they did was you would watch Daryl's episode, and then you would have to wait 8 or 9 episodes to get back around to Daryl's story.
Oh, I see.
And these were only like 20 to 30 minute episodes. You couldn't get anything done, so the pace of the show slowed down. The stories of the show slowed down. It sucked, and everybody hated it, and they never switched it. They never changed it. It never got better.
You know why they did that though? These actors got big heads and they made their contract more hefty. And they're like, we have to have less screen time or you pay us more. So they're like, all right, we'll give you 2 episodes in the whole season.
How does that tie into our topic though?
It doesn't, I don't think.
Well, I was just saying. I was trying to give you guys a season 1 review of the first time watching Lost, and then we got into Walking Dead, Josh, because you brought that up unnecessarily.
I didn't bring up Walking Dead.
Yes, you did.
It wasn't me who brought up Walking Dead. No, I didn't.
I think you brought.
That was somebody. It was Wyatt.
Josh was always the one to quickly bring up.
Did I bring up Walking Dead?
Yeah,
I don't know. But listen, I was gonna rant about J.J. Abrams. I hate his mystery box style of filmmaking, especially in Lost. It's so freaking annoying. And look, it might be very interesting the process this goes on, and I'll give hopefully I can get to the end and I can give us a show review. But Lost is at this point, I'm pretty much at the end of season 1, and at this point, Lost is quite frustrating. And I know they had to do all of the backstories, all of like where these characters came from, and why it matters when certain things happen to them. But man, is it just back and forth constantly. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to have a like, oh no, what's gonna happen at the end of every single scene? Every single scene.
I'll tell you what you need to watch the downfall of a show is Heroes. Did you ever watch Heroes?
I heard about it actually, but
some
of the
best like 2 seasons.
Dude, Heroes
television.
was coming out. Heroes was coming out. I remember seeing advertisements on the TV at my grandma's house when I was like 7 for Heroes.
I'd say watch all of Heroes. Watch all of Heroes to fully appreciate what happened to that show.
Doesn't Heroes have a dude that's missing a belly button?
No, what? I think that's Kyle XY.
Okay, my bad.
Kyle X.
How many seasons of Lost is there? Like 11 or 12?
No, I think there's only like 8 or something. It's not a ton.
Okay. Well, I just can't, get into the Lost because someone already spoiled the ending for me.
Yeah.
Well, I know what happens at the end too. I'm interested to see how they take what I'm watching and make it into that ending. That's what I'm curious about, right?
Well,
what is our topic? What is our
So
6 seasons of Lost.
I know it may feel like it every time it's my podcast, but we are going to be talking about a little bit about the end of the actors strike.
All right. No more strikes for this year. No strikes for 2024.
We don't know. Someone could rise up.
So this is this article talks about the 6 things the actors got in the new contract.
So if you haven't it's been over for a few weeks. If you didn't go back and look at the deals, if you don't know what's going on with the actors for the next 2 to 3 years, what they're making, how they're interacting with the studios in Hollywood, this is your chance. We're going to inform you, right?
Yeah. So, first of all, minimum compensation increases. This is for actors, mind you. So the performers will get they will earn a 7% wage increase effective immediately.
Okay. So right now, yesterday.
They get more money. And then it will be followed by a 4% increase. And then a 3.5% increase. So
each year, right?
I think, monetarily, they came out on top. They complained about the AI stuff. This is what they really wanted, in my opinion. Was more money.
What is number one?
Well, you know why they hold on. You know why they wanted money though? Like it's not that just yes, some people just want more money for their work, but the reason why it's so important about the money issue is because it's impossible to live in LA, which is where all the small actors are going to get work. Like this was more of a strike for the small actors, the commercial actors, the background actors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was more of a strike for them than it was
I think this pay increase is for the smaller actors, but this next one, streaming bonuses, is big for the big actors. So the new contract calls for actors to earn a success payment along with the usual residual payments if they work on a streaming project that attract a significant number of viewers.
Now, I'll say this. Hold on. The writers got the same thing. If you remember when we covered those deals, the writers got the same thing where they get a bump if it's a success. And I'm going to be honest, it doesn't matter what I feel about all the deals, this is the best thing that could happen in Hollywood is the success thing, right?
Go ahead, Josh.
They have to throw in some streaming stuff in there because there's not a lot of laws around the streaming stuff yet.
Yeah,
we've seen this in the past, and it's always caused conflict.
This newest thing, I think, is really part of the most important thing involving this strike is they will get money based on like a success metric. Domestic streaming hours over the first 90 exhibition days is divided by the total runtime of the movie or television series, episodes, blah, 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 blah. So
the success metric is calculated by
75% of any bonus money will go to the performer, blah, blah, blah. But what this means is number 3, this is affected directly by number 3, disclosure of real viewership stats, not whatever HBO or Disney or Amazon Prime shows us. These we are entitled, the actors and the viewers, to disclosure of actual viewership stats, which
is going to really reveal a lot over the next year.
Do you think
this is super important?
Do you think though, but like we've heard for quite a few years now, like when people are going in for interviews, like actors, that the casting people sometimes ask them, how many Instagram followers do you have, for these big actors? And they're like, well, I don't have any. Or some are like, well, I have this many, Chris Pratt he's got someone running his Instagram because he has to show what he's working on. He has to show, he has to promote that new film, and that's in his contract. So it directly affects him if it does well because he promoted it on his Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with this, though? This is for the studios to disclose the real viewer stats.
No, I understand what he's saying.
The if it does well, is them promoting the actors, doing all this promotion for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that there's going to be a lot of tie-in with how well the show does, how well you as a person do, how much viewership do you bring into a show. I think is going to start affecting streaming stuff quite a bit.
But that's not in this deal, is it? We're talking about disclosure agreements for the studios.
So the disclosure agreements of the stats they are required to disclose the total number of hours the content was streamed in both in the US and Canada and abroad for each quarter. So if the show does well, they have to say. If it does not do well, they have to say. And
Which
if they really
big deal for Disney Plus and Amazon, because we know for a fact they've been fudging their numbers and now they can't anymore.
now they
right?
can't. Well, they will have to, if they want to continue fudging the numbers, they'll have to
Pay out.
they'll have to design a bunch of bots to view the content and hike up those
Yeah, they can
hours.
probably
And then
work
they have
around
to,
it.
but then they have to pay out. They have to pay up.
Pay accordingly, right?
Mhm.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, but you know, if they're doing that, it goes back to, you know, the fudging the numbers. You know, are we talking about Toblerone? Or are we talking about Hershey's chocolate?
We're talking about like chocolate mousse fudge. This is a total fudging of the numbers.
Not
which
good
they
fudge.
that was what they were doing before. I think now we're getting into moving away from the fudge because that doesn't help them, because they
Look,
have
this-
to
No,
disclose the numbers.
If they do something like if they fudge the numbers or they do the bot thing that doesn't ultimately earn them any money, you
Mhm.
are now, if they want to save face, they have to pay more money. They lose money if they try to save face, which is important.
I think this is a good incentive.
It's a great incentive.
Maybe this is what it takes for them to make good stuff. If you want people
And
to watch,
stop like with the
Yeah.
Rings of Power season 2, you
if
know?
you want people to
well,
watch,
they're already
show,
doing it, but
you have to make a good show that people want to watch consistently, because you can't lie anymore.
Yeah, and let
number
the
four-
Marvels be a tax write-off, right?
Number 4, limits on artificial intelligence. This is kind of, in my opinion, a little bit of a nothing burger. It just means that the artificial intelligence, they're not allowed to use the likeness of people without their consent, which has always been the case.
Right.
yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of always been what's going on. I think they made artificial intelligence a big part of the strike,
Right.
because it was a big media thing. But what they really wanted were the deals from streaming and
more pay.
To get paid.
and more pay. The artificial intelligence thing isn't as big of a deal.
Not right now.
So this was interesting to me. Minimum number of background actors.
Scroll down, Joseph.
This is dumb.
What?
This is foolish.
This is basically
Why?
just to say, well, we need to make sure everyone has
Yeah.
work.
This is
Even if you're
foolish
not good.
because what if you get a really good movie, similar to what Willem Dafoe did, where he's one guy in a room?
Yeah.
Or
Or like,
what if a big
Guilty,
studio?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, or Guilty. What if a big studio wants to do a project like that, where they can really hone in on an interesting story, and it's not just like an indie film?
Right.
This kind of buggers that. This is really.
So what are we talking
annoying.
there's
about
got to
here?
be workarounds though with stuff like that. There has to be.
Hold on. So under the new agreement on TV shows in West Coast cities, okay, 25 background actors up from 22 will be covered by the contract. For feature films, the West Coast minimum jumps from 57 to 85. So you just film in Atlanta.
Yeah, if you want to do a film that you don't have to pay the vagrants on the streets, go somewhere
to
else.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
film in Atlanta
California.
where everyone's already filming it, you know?
Yeah. And then number 6 is relocation bonuses, which makes sense. Performers in series who have to relocate for work will be entitled to a maximum relocation benefit up to $5,000 a month or 6 months. Blah 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 blah. More money.
If
you live in California, and then you have to relocate to Atlanta, you're making a lot more money now.
Yeah,
it's definitely cheaper in Atlanta than it is
because
in
it drops
California.
and
cost
of living
now
drops
you're
a lot, and
you're making
paid.
money from relocation. You've got that 7% bump. You know,
How many
all
people are
this
going to
stuff.
stay relocated? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
After the production's done, when they're like,
Yeah.
you know what? It is easier to live in Georgia
Mhm.
than California. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, but they gotta
Yeah.
get their work. They gotta go to those auditions and
If
stuff.
you're going to, once you already are in the system, and if you become even a mildly well-known actor or actress, then and you move to Atlanta, you're still going to get work. You're
Oh,
right
yeah,
there
and
where
it's
it's being
nothing.
filmed.
It's nothing to hop on a private plane and fly over to Cali.
Nothing.
Easy money.
That all
Yeah.
the comedians figured this out. That's why they went to Austin. They're like, we
Mhm.
don't need to have work here necessarily to live here.
Mhm.
And then the work ended up going there because they Joe Rogan. But you don't
They
have
moved
to.
there. Yeah.
They kind of move there, but you don't have to live there for it to work. And so actors are going to realize this too, like
Mm.
especially like who's an example, a sort of like maybe past their prime but still known actor that might still be out in California. What's an example
Mhm.
of this?
Robert De
Um,
Niro.
Robert De Niro? You think? No, he's
Yeah.
way too big still.
Uh,
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've got nothing for you.
I
Maybe
don't know
like
that
a Josh Hutcherson. The only thing we've
who's
seen
not
him in.
acting in anything right
No,
now.
he was in
He
Friday.
was in Five Nights at
He
Freddy's.
was in
Five Nights at
Five
Freddy's.
Nights at
So
Freddy's.
maybe like a
Yeah.
Josh Hutcherson who doesn't do a lot of work but might still be lingering in
Mm.
California or something. Might be like, yeah, I'm good to live in
I'd
Atlanta.
rather live in Atlanta.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But I think big actors and actresses are going to come this way as well.
Oh, some of them already have. Even in Florida, here in this area in Florida around Tampa and Clearwater, there's so
Yeah.
many big people here. So many. I think John Travolta lives not too far away.
Oh,
I think. I don't know. It's just like people live on the west east coast because it costs a lot less if you're not in New York. And
Mhm.
it's just for some reason everyone thinks you go to California to make your dreams, but really you go to California to empty your wallet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really what you do, what you go to California for, to
Well,
give everyone all your money.
those are the agreements, the 6 things that were kind of in the new contract.
It looks
We'll
like
see how long this lasts.
It looks like everything is about money
It's
except for the
it's
AI.
always been about money. Well, the
Except
AI
for
is about
AI.
money too.
The AI is likeness
It's like
to make sure they have
it's if
job
you
security.
it's if you use my likeness, I get paid.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're using AI to replicate what I look like, I get paid.
Okay.
So
I mean,
it's about money as well.
I
So
suppose
like
it's
Mark
partially.
Hamill would have made money when they made the Mandalorian season with his likeness of Luke,
Yes.
which makes sense. He
No.
probably
I'm sure he already made money from that.
You think?
Yeah.
He
Well,
wasn't in
he
it.
acted in it. Yeah, he acted in it. They used his
No.
they used his face as a he spent time in the studio to do the renders of his face.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill was on set for those things. You know?
I think the AI thing with the face will start being like, if you pay me, if you want to use AI for me to be in a movie, right?
Mhm.
It's the same as me being on set, right? It's like you can use an entirely AI version of my face and body that looks exactly like me, but that is me. That I'm getting paid for those hours. So, I'm going to be in Prague. Make sure
sipping
you
some wine, eating some
wine or
cheese,
mimosas
drinking
or
some
something.
wine.
Yeah,
Right.
catching some rays.
Catching
And
some rays.
meanwhile, my artificial intelligence lookalike is working my hours for me and making money.
But here's the thing, we're giving a lot of credit to the actors to be smart enough, I guess, to see this coming. I'm personally not of the opinion that they are. I think that
Did you just insult all of the actors ever?
Sort of, because they're not more business savvy or they're not as savvy with business and such as these studios whose job it is to make money, right? They're supposed to be the creatives. And what I'm saying is that these actors are not thinking, okay, after 3 years, this deal ends. And unless you're
Yeah.
going to go on another strike, the studios are in the background planning on how to use likenesses of these stars, working around the deal after this contract ends. They just are. And the studio is a lot smarter than the Actors Guild. They just are.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And they're going to figure out how, because if this was a 10 or 20 year contract, wow, but it's not. It's like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Owen
and
Wilson.
I think it won't be exactly like that. The actors aren't going to get a deal where it's like, oh, if I'm AI on screen, I'm getting the same amount of pay. It'll be like if you use an AI artificial recreation of an actor, they will get, since it's not actually them, they only get paid like for like a 15% rate of their normal pay
Right. I'm
for their
predicting
time.
I'm predicting another stalemate, kind of like what we talked about in the past,
Mm,
where we're going to hit a wall where no one can do anything. So I
yeah.
think the only option when it comes to AI films, like you're talking about with likeness, is probably going to be more along the lines of what we talked about in the past, where a person that the meta might be involved or virtual reality might
Yeah.
be involved, where you're saying like, okay, the only way you can use my likeness is if I am still physically acting. I just don't have to go to the studios. I can just get on a video call with you and act for 45 minutes. And then you can use that likeness and I get paid at a discounted rate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's the only workaround because it legally, the studios probably aren't going to be able to copy your likeness and not pay you anything. But also,
Mhm.
they're not going to just keep paying you as a person with all this new technology available. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we're going to hit a wall where neither one can do anything unless they have some kind of agreement to where there's still going to have to be acting, even though it might be unnecessary. You
Yeah.
could say we can take Mark Ruffalo and make him like use a random person do the acting, the movements, and then put Mark Ruffalo on top of that, and it looks like Mark Ruffalo. Well, they're not going to be allowed to do that, but they're still going to be doing that. Like they have the technology to do that. So they're going to want to, but they're not going to be allowed to. Even so, I think it's just we're gonna hit a wall with this when it comes to the AI thing, probably. Where neither one can do what they want fully, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to see, I guess we're going to see what happens. I agree. I think there's going to be a stalemate that happens.
In the AI
And then
department, probably.
in the AI, definitely. And then we're going to end up in a similar situation where we've got a strike on our hands.
You think another strike's down the road?
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
think a sit down is in the work. I mean, is down the road. Not another strike where everybody goes out on the streets holding signs. I think
At
it's
least
going to be like
I think it's going
somebody's
to be
going to be sitting
closer.
down in like 3 years.
There's going to be a sit down, but I think another strike. It's not going to be like last time where it's going to be, when was the last writer strike? 2008.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to.
Yeah.
And it's been, how many years since then? It's going to be in the next 5 years. We're going to see another strike.
I mean, we kind of have to because they didn't deal with the AI issue in a serious way yet. They just dealt with the money issue.
I think Josh is right. I think we'll have a couple sit downs. I think hopefully things will get resolved before there's a strike. But
hear me out.
I think there will definitely be a strike.
Never mind. I got nothing. I was going to say
I wanted to say this. That's along the same lines, though.
Okay.
We've been doing the tower, which is just wizards doing wizard things.
Some AI wizards.
AI wizard generation. Have you guys run into an issue where it blocks like the Bing Microsoft image creator, whatever, is blocking your generations?
That's probably exclusively Bing, though. It's not because we're using
it's not.
AI.
It's not completely, but
it's not.
I discovered one that I tried to generate Donald Sutherland as a wizard, and it said no. And I got blocked because I accidentally phrased like my generation kind of sexual, and I think it thought I was trying to make a sexual image, so it blocked me there. But I got blocked
also
as just trying to generate Donald Sutherland as a
so
wizard.
the likeness of actors, you can't just put in Ryan Gosling or Donald Sutherland. You have to you have to be more strategic with it. You got to be like the main actor guy from Barbie. Um,
Oh, for real?
the
You can do
yeah.
workarounds like
So
this?
so yeah, you can do workarounds. I've gotten Ryan Gosling. I think Ethan has gotten Ryan Gosling. You have to be specific and be like President Snow from
From
the
Hunger
Hunger
Games.
Games as a wizard, and
Right.
Yeah.
you'll probably get yeah, you'll probably. I actually am curious. I might do one on my phone right now and see
See what
Well,
yeah, try to
see
get
what
Donald
comes up.
Sutherland because I know I couldn't
Yeah,
get him.
I'm gonna do it really
Um,
quick since I already have the thing pulled up.
Go ahead.
yeah. To just close this off, I think there's going to be something that happens, maybe a sit down. I don't think there's going to be a full strike in 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see how streaming, how entertainment, how actors, story, the writers, how people are feeling about like the writing for movies and shows. How are we feeling in 3 years with all that? Because it might take a shift, and we're preoccupied by something totally different by then. So I think we just have to wait and see how things progress for entertainment. But
Yeah, it's
we'll
going to look
see,
very
and
different.
that's what I think about that. That's
Mm.
all,
You're
folks.
right. And that's what I think.
And that's
about
how I
life.
feel about that. The next thing, the last thing I have. Okay,
Did you get
I
it?
got something. I
Ah,
got
man.
something.
All right, hold it up to your camera somewhat.
Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see it. If you can full screen that.
Let's see. I'm gonna full screen you real quick.
That's
All
Donald
right,
Sutherland.
that's Donald Sutherland.
That's
it is.
Donald Sutherland. That's Donald Sutherland. It gave me a couple of other images. This one
Wyatt,
looks
save
a
that
little
and just
bit.
send it to me. Just text that photo.
Or just
to
put
me.
it
I
in
wanna
the
see it.
the tower or something so we can grab it.
I've got it saved. It's cool. But that was definitely Donald Sutherland. There were a
Did you
couple
go
of
President
other.
Snow workaround?
I said President Snow from the Hunger Games, and it gave
Mhm.
me Donald Sutherland.
That's
That's
funny.
actually really cool. He looked
Yeah.
really sick too.
Yeah. But I was trying to
speaking
get
of-
him smiling, drinking wine, so I can pair it with the catching some rays bit that I did 2
Yeah.
days ago, but it
Mhm.
wouldn't let me. That's what I was trying to get.
Think of some other Donald Sutherland movies and put those in as prompts. And
Okay.
Yeah.
look, none of this obviously is being sold. This is all for recreational stuff. But again, that's kind of the power of AI. At the moment it's kind of stealing people's likenesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I don't know that that's stealing. It's using pictures that are on the internet to create a picture. I could copy Donald Sutherland's features on a piece of art that I'm drawing, and if I were a proficient artist, get a similar result.
That's
Right.
It's so weird, and I don't want to get into this. I am opening a door, and I think we should go to our last segment before instead of doing this. But if, like, let's say we as individuals, because we've come up with this cool concept in this almost game-esque thing using AI. Let's
Yeah.
say we sold this concept and created a game or an app that is like this, and people are starting to generate pictures of famous actors for this thing. We're making money off of the app through the AI. Who is someone going to get in trouble because technically we're making
You just have
money
to
off
do what
the
Big
likeness
does.
of actors.
I
Take
think
appropriate precautions. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
that's you have to put in that caveat of like you're not allowed to put in the names of actors, but if you put in President Snow, that's fan art now.
Yeah.
That's
and
not
that the
a
actor
recreation
stole.
of Donald Sutherland. That is fan art of
Right.
President Snow from the Hunger Games.
Right. I think
I
think
get
Ken
it.
also
from the Barbie movie.
right that Ken from Barbie. I think
Mhm.
and in some ways because of all the money the actors make, they are as these roles in these movies, they are selling their likeness for
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And so it's already public domain at that point, pretty much.
Mhm.
And so you can't necessarily generate Brian Gosling smoking a cigarette on the street, but you can do it as Ken, which is basically him.
Or as or as the character from Drive or Blade Runner,
yeah.
and he's basically me. I'm basically him.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you just hypothetically, you type into AI, write a script for a movie where you bring Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan and create an Karate
A
Kid
new
movie where they're
Karate
both
Kid.
in it. It would. How would it write it?
I don't know that it. I would hope that it would take examples from the previous movies and create a scenario which works for these two characters. It was a pretty good segue. I won't lie. I kind of applaud the segue.
Yeah.
Actually, the AI image you might get would look something like this. So this is my final segment. I'm sure many of you have already seen this announcement from
I hadn't.
the Karate People.
Okay.
Ralph Macchio is the Karate Kid, and Jackie Chan is Mr. Han in the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
They are doing a new Karate Kid movie. Do you guys want to watch this announced? Did you have the video?
Yeah,
It's
watch
only
it.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
let's watch it.
before we
Let's
talk about
watch it. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone, we've got big news.
We're starring in a new Karate Kid movie together.
That's big news. But
Big news.
we even have bigger news.
Bigger than that?
We're looking for next Karate Kid.
That's right. The global search for the star of our new film starts right now. So let's wax on, wax off, everybody.
You mean check it on, check it off, hang it up?
Maybe the new Karate Kid will have to do it all.
Hang it up.
I'm excited. You excited?
I'm very, very excited.
Let's do it. Learn more about this new role.
Submit your audition video.
So
KarateKidCasting.com, everybody.
yeah, this is interesting for me in a lot of different ways because I feel like Jackie Chan's accent has gotten worse.
Yep. 100%.
Like his English has gotten worse.
How
But,
can he get?
look-
How is he not getting better?
Look.
It's because he's been doing
I get
films
it.
over
He's been in China.
China.
He's been in China for a long time. He's been doing a lot of Chinese media. He's probably hasn't been practicing his English that much. That's fine. I understand. It is funny though. It is. But it's cool that it's kind of like a contest. Submit your video to be the next Karate Kid.
Which basically means they don't want to pay a big fat check to an existing
No,
star.
I they're going to select somebody who's probably already been an actor before. Somebody like Taylor Lautner, who was involved in martial arts growing up,
Right.
and was involved in acting. They're going to pick somebody who's got the skills, I think. They're not going to pick some bum off the street who submits a YouTube video. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm going to, he does some really sick flips and stuff, but,
Right.
doesn't know how to act.
Right. I think so with this is a very interesting way to approach it. It's very cheesy video, by the way. I couldn't bear to watch 30 seconds. It just got worse and worse.
I don't think they're in the same room as each other either.
You don't
No.
think so?
I don't think so either.
Because one person's giving like very professional, limited energy, and one person's giving it all he's got.
Yeah.
Wait, who's who? I'm sorry. I don't know which one you're talking
Chan
about.
is the more energy, and Ralph Macchio is giving it limited.
Ralph Macchio's like, if they're in a different room, that's hilarious because it's like, all right, just say these lines and then look, because Jackie Chan will be talking at this point. And so he has one energy. And then they told Jackie Chan, like, this is like a YouTube video, dude. Like, give it, like, really grab the attention of the audience here.
Have you seen
so-
like early vlogs from like Logan Paul or Jake Paul? Give us that energy.
Studied some.
It's
Freaking
funny.
Ralph Macchio stands there and says, wax on, wax off. And then he's like, check it on, check it off. You know what I mean? It was so different, these two characters.
I'm almost positive they're in a completely different studio. That's why you're using a solid background here.
Is this I know we've been talking about streaming movies a lot in this episode. Is this a streaming movie, you think? or no?
I don't know. I think they want to
Yeah.
go back. I think they want to go back to the big screens with the Karate
I
Kid.
think they want to go back to the big screen
because look,
but
Cobra Kai has been successful.
yeah, it has been.
Especially with Netflix picking it up and just having some fun with a over dramatized kid show, karate show. But I think they want to go back to the big screen.
This announcement was released on the Sony Entertainment YouTube channel, which I believe Sony has a contract with Netflix of some sort.
Oh, okay.
Because most of Sony films do eventually get on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they don't have their own streaming service like
No,
Paramount
no.
does.
Yeah,
So,
and I think it would be wrong for them too. We have too many streaming services. But this was released on Sony Entertainment.
I mean, is this going to be a really cheesy movie? I 100% agree. Is it going to have a lot of remember
any
berries?
cheese?
It's going to have so many berries that
biggest member
it will be like trying to eat a pie, like a berry pie, but all you're getting is berry and no crust. No crust, no pie crust.
Hey, I like
just
the
eating
filling. I like the filling.
Okay,
well, you ain't getting any filling either. It's going to be just berries. You ain't getting that creamy, delicious, sugary filling. You're just getting berries.
Uncooked member berries.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not to disparage a legacy actor like Jackie Chan, but in my opinion, we're putting together a really awesome legacy film with a really lousy follow-up. And we're combining something good and bad.
Wait.
This is
okay.
What you're specifically saying that Jackie Chan's a legacy, and you're not calling out Ralph Macchio's original Karate Kid movie?
No, I'm saying Ralph Macchio's original Karate Kid is a good movie and a good franchise. The follow-up with Jackie Chan was not, and that's not to say
it's not
Jackie
a bad
Chan,
movie.
It's not a good one. It was sucked.
It didn't suck. I think you don't like Jaden Smith, and he's not a great actor. But the movie itself didn't suck. It had good pacing. Yeah. It had a similar story. It had an emotional connection for Jackie Chan's character.
It's a copycat, dude.
It's exactly a copycat, but it's well written, and I think performed decently well as well.
Yeah, you've ever seen that meme where it shows like a drawing of a horse, and then halfway it like the art gets worse, and then the butt end of the horse looks like a 3-year-old drew it.
Yes,
that's what the movies are. You start with something good, you get to the Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith Karate Kid, and it just looks like a 3-year-old drew it. It's like they continued and copycatted the art, and it's just lousy.
I think you're exaggerating. No, you're exaggerating. You're exaggerating.
Poor remake. It's a poor follow-up.
You're exaggerating. It's not a poor remake. It's just a remake. It's not a bad movie.
Why would you make a movie that is not as good as the first one and ultimately doesn't deliver on what you're wanting Karate Kid to be?
It's not a bad movie. You're overreacting.
I swear, with this kind of defense of it, I feel like you watched Jackie Chan's Karate Kid before the original. No. Are you one of those?
No, and Jaden Smith acted better than Ralph Macchio.
I think
blasphemy. That is as bad as it gets. You're terrible, man. You're terrible.
I think the original Karate Kid movie, for when it came out, was a very big hit, and it did something for Ralph Macchio. Dude, I think he was in
so hard.
He was. I want to say he was in Outsiders before Karate Kid, but Karate Kid put him on the map, and it was a phenomenal movie. I will agree with Wyatt on top of that, though. For being Jaden Smith, the Karate Kid that was Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith, it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
And,
it wasn't karate. It was kung fu.
Yeah, it was. And it was a totally different film from the original. But
look, no, it wasn't. It was trying to remix. No, it was the same film, but it was trying a remix version. And all the remixes sucked.
And I think it did pretty well.
I'm going to put you saying Jaden Smith did a better job than Ralph Macchio at the top of the podcast.
Put it in a clip. Put it in a clip.
No, at the top of the podcast. So
put it at the top of the podcast.
Everyone can hear that.
Show people.
Ridiculous
because
take.
I am right.
You are wrong.
I'm right.
100%, you're wrong.
And actually, let's look at it this way. Both of the movies are about the teacher. Both of them. The teacher gives a real, incredible, heart-wrenching performance and is a good character, while the student is kind of this just like pathetic latch on into the story of a real character.
Dude, you are with all the stuff going on in the world, you're gonna die on this stupidest hill.
Yeah. Yes.
Just the stupidest hill to die on.
Yeah, the Karate Kid is about Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Han.
Don't throw in Mr. Han with the Karate Kid story. It was a blasphemous story. It was a terrible remix.
I disagree with that. It's not about Mr. Miyagi. It's about the friendship of two people who aren't supposed to be friends. You know, a black boy and an old Asian man. An old Asian
the dynamic.
A white boy and an old Asian man.
And a kid from New Jersey, right? That's where he's from?
Yeah, Reseda.
No, that's where they moved to.
Or, yeah, sure. We'll just say that. I don't remember.
Look, it's the odd pairing. The old Japanese man, or the old, what was he? Was Miyagi Chinese or Japanese?
No, he was Okinawan. Where's Okinawa?
Okinawa is in Japan.
Then it's Japanese.
Yeah,
but I think he was Chinese.
What,
the actor?
Mr. Han?
I don't know. I don't remember. There's a weird.
We're getting our facts wrong. But
It
was about the
arbitrary.
From
Arbitrary.
Okinawa.
Old Asian man, young ethnic kid.
About the friendship,
learning about discipline, and heartbreak and failure and success is what the movies are about. And the one with Jackie Chan does a good job of it as well. Joe's tripping. Joe's tripping.
I'm not tripping.
I agree with Wyatt.
Dude, that cold in your guys' apartment's gotten to your head.
You be tripping.
Dude, the discernment part of your brain might be in shock. You can't look
at this movie and say, wow, this is a kind of a fun, entertaining film with a decent soundtrack and some good morals and lessons, and some halfway decent acting. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
Then call me crazy, bro, because I'm not going to let up.
I would rather watch that movie than any of the movies after the Karate Kid, Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3. I'd rather watch the one
because we don't have remixes of those.
I'd rather watch the one with Mr. Han, Jackie Chan.
Dude, you're wild. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see the one when he goes.
I'd rather watch that. Oh, I'd rather watch that over the sequels. I don't like the sequels. I like the first Karate Kid.
Oh my gosh.
And that's kind of it. I don't care for the sequel movies.
Dude, the sequel movies are good.
They're cheesy. They're not as good movies.
I think they are cheesy. And the anything past the first one is, maybe not needed. It was just another sequel. But I'm agreeing with Wyatt that the original was good and the remake was good for a remake.
No, let's be honest. Wyatt is
good...
saying that the original is the remake with Jackie Chan is superior to the original.
The original.
No, I did not. I did not say that.
That is what you're implying.
No.
You think Jaden Smith is a better actor than Ralph Macchio?
Yes, but I didn't say the movie itself is superior. I said I like it. I like it for what it is.
Dude, you are barking up the wrong
as
tree
actors
here.
Go. I hate to say this. He's not good. We got Jaden Smith. We got Ralph Macchio just above him. I'm not a fan of Ralph Macchio.
I didn't say as actors, right? Because Ralph Macchio is a better actor now.
He's better, but
I think Jaden's performance as the kid is better than Macchio's performance.
Dude, Jaden didn't give anywhere near that. Ralph Macchio's like not a great actor. I'll agree, but there are moments in Karate Kid where he shines through very brightly with his acting.
He does.
Especially in the emotional moments.
Go watch the remake again.
We need to do because it's good. We should do watch party for both these things and just see what we think.
And then I would say the first season of Cobra Kai as well is one of if we're going just Karate Kid stuff. First season of Cobra Kai is like one of the best karate movies.
It's a show.
Wait,
It's a show.
no. So,
But
I would agree. The
if it were
first
a
season
movie,
of
it's
Cobra Kai
awesome.
was
So you're
was
saying
good, but no, it's still cheesy. It's a
So you're saying
it's still
Karate
cheesy, but
Kid-
so was the Karate Kid movies. They're all cheesy.
so look,
No,
you're
but
saying
the
the
first season of
original was
Cobra
not
Kai is
cheesy.
awesome.
freaking okay, listen, you're
Yes, it
saying that the
is.
Karate Kid show, the Cobra Kai is better when it's in the hands of YouTube Red.
It was executed extremely well. It was
Okay.
awesome. It was
All right.
awesome. It was an
Okay.
awesome show.
All right. As
Yeah,
long
first season-
I'll let you have whatever opinion you
Yeah,
have there, but you
here's-
cannot have
okay,
the
here's-
new
here's my
Karate Kid is
tier
better than
list.
the original Karate
Here's
Kid.
my tier list for Karate Kid movies. The first one, The Karate Kid.
Jackie Chan, because you're
The
apologizing.
remake. Actually, you know what? I would actually probably put Cobra Kai above the remake. First season of Cobra Kai, then the remake, then all the other stuff.
So wait,
First
so you're saying
movie-
at the top is the first Karate Kid
Yeah.
with Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
as a
then Cobra
follow-up
Kai.
kind of sequel to that is Cobra Kai,
Okay.
and then
Then
the
the
remake.
remake,
Mhm.
and
I
then
accept that.
everything else.
and then everything else. Yeah.
I accept
No.
that. I accept
I
that.
think
Yeah,
the
that's
second
pretty
original
good.
Karate Kid is better
no,
than the remake.
No, it's not
Yep.
great. It's not
it's
great.
good. There's a
I
love
see.
interest.
I think you can watch. I think you can watch Cobra Kai and then watch the sequel movies of Karate Kid and appreciate them more. Or you can watch them in conjunction with Cobra Kai. It doesn't matter.
I think you have to
there's
watch
a lot
them
of
in
references.
conjunction, but I'm right there with Wyatt. I think the first movie, maybe Cobra Kai, maybe the second movie, and then
I will not be there
and
with
Jaden
Wyatt
Smith is like underneath that. But
because
I
Wyatt
think-
started this by saying Jaden Smith's a better actor than Ralph.
I
Macchio.
didn't say he's a better actor.
no,
I said
he did not.
I said his performance is better. He acts better in the movie than Ralph Macchio did in his movie. I didn't say he's a
I disagree
better
with that.
actor.
I disagree with that.
Neither of these actors in either of these movies are putting forth any performance nearly as good as the mentors in the movies.
Maybe
The
not the
Mentors
mentor.
did
Well,
way
hold on.
better
Jackie
job.
Chan's acting in The Karate Kid was not memorable.
Boo.
No,
You're
no,
wrong.
that
Was
is not
not
true.
He had
memorable.
he had some incredible scenes in
He
the
had
movie.
some great.
You guys are
Yeah.
just saying that because it's
When
Jackie
was the
Chan
last
and
time
you're
you
trying to be
watched
respectful.
Yeah, no, it was
Have you
he
seen it
was
more than once?
Yeah, I've seen it like 3 times. I hated every
you need
viewing.
to go watch it again.
You
Why?
need
I know what happens.
Your
Grandpa
yeah,
Joe.
Grandpa Joe, just
and
the ancient Joe.
You guys are over here being like, we just need to stick with streaming services and DVD copies, and
Never
I'm
said that. Now
perfectly
you're
happy
lying.
with a
We never
VHS
said any
player.
of
Now
that.
you're lying. All right.
Man,
Well,
if
we're
you were
ending on a
next to
bad
recording,
note
I would
today.
come into your shop.
We're ending the
Screw both
podcast
of
on a
you.
bad note.
Screw both of you.
We're never coming back.
I'm not coming back. You can
We don't
keep
want
on-
you. We don't want you
No.
anyway. Get out of here. Leave.
Freaking fine. I'm disabling my StreamYard account. You guys are gonna have to pay for your own.
We will.
No, you won't. You don't even help me with this one.
You never
I do.
just send me the Cash App.
just
I do.
charge you.
Just charge me.
Josh, you do not help me with StreamYard. You help me with other things. You do not help me with StreamYard. You said I asked you to help me with
We're not
StreamYard,
getting
and you
on
said
the-
no.
But,
on the podcast. I'm not
wait.
doing this on the podcast.
Like
I'm not doing this on the podcast.
wait till I get paid. Can you wait
To
till I
charge you after you get paid.
Can you wait till I get my paycheck in like 2 weeks?
You're one of those people that are like, I'm rich for 3 days, and then Monday hits, and then you're like, all right, back on the grind.
I'm rich on the weekend.
rich after payday, and then you're like, oh dang, I forgot to send Joshua all that money,
Mm.
but I got these new cool pair of shoes, or I got this new freaking book that cost Brandon Sanderson book that's severely overpriced.
I don't
Look,
know. I don't spend money like
Let's end this
that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Joseph, what did you just put on your screen?
I didn't do that. I put my thumbs up and it made a little bubble. There it goes again.
Oh,
You see that?
can I
What?
do that?
You probably can.
I don't know if the viewers can see that if it's being recorded. It might not.
I
they-
hope it's not being recorded, but I just put
Anime
a thumbs up.
up.
Well, they'll be
Do
able
an
to see
anime
it.
thumbs up.
They'll be able to do.
Oh,
They'll be able to see
That
it
is
on
awesome.
the small screen at least.
cool.
So anyways, let's bounce, everybody. And we love you. We hope that your holiday goes well, but continue listening because we're posting holiday episodes, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for the holidays. We love you.